Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up?
Yeah, like talk
long
about
walks
yourself.
on the bee.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces. The most romantic.
It leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all of the zodiac.
Oh,
If you couldn't tell by my voice already.
oh,
Sexy.
But I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it.
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Terry Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
Man, we knew this Celtics team was going to impress us or continue to impress us after the first two rounds. But I can't say I expected this. You got a blowout in one game. LeBron James, one of his worst playoff performances at TD Garden, a place that he's very familiar with for putting up epic performances. And then the Celtics followed it up with a humongous win in Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers, where by the end, the last couple of minutes, you saw both teams empty out their benches, and it was a wrap. The Celtics now are 2 games away from the NBA Finals, Joel. How am I saying this right now?
2 wins.
2 wins away from the NBA Finals. They have a 2-0 lead. Head into Cleveland, where the series shifts over for Game 3 Saturday night. What a series that has been. What a performance. What a dominating performance from this Boston Celtics team. We'll break it all down. We're talking about what the Cavs can do to save this series, to make it a series, to avoid a 3-0 hole. And, of course, we'll also swing things over to the Western Conference, where things are getting interesting over there. Series is tied up now, 1 game apiece, as the series shifts over to Golden State, or Oakland, I should say. So we'll talk about that as well. I do still like the Rockets in this series. I know they're the underdogs. I know it's most likely we'll see the Warriors pull out, but I'm still thinking that the Rockets can put something together. So I'll let you know more about
Maybe another
my
win.
thought process. But maybe another win? All right, we'll see. We'll see. Joseph Pavone here. Joel Pavone with me. Causeway Street Podcast.
What up?
Breaking down these two matchups. Man, unbelievable stuff, Joel. I mean, we're talking about these young guys and what they're able to do. I mean, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I mean, Jaylen Brown looks like he's just damn near just in the zone, and he's just damn near like going toe-to-toe with LeBron James. And I know the stats don't say that, but if you look at just his body language and how he went about that first quarter, of course, 21 points from LeBron James, an epic first quarter, incredible first quarter. But Jaylen Brown wasn't too bad. You know, he was pretty incredible for himself, you know, for Jaylen Brown, where he was able to put together that 14-point first quarter, keeping the Celtics relatively close. And once it got to halftime, I mean, once they were not even down by double digits at the half, you just kind of got the feeling that the Celtics are going to pull away eventually if no one else, or if someone else couldn't step up for the Cleveland Cavaliers, that was going to be the case. That's exactly what happened.
I mean, Jaylen Brown was the only one, in my opinion, in Game 2 keeping the Celtics alive in that first half. We saw LeBron go off. That was expected.
Right.
I mean, the man was at the TD Garden Sway with his shirt off.
Yeah.
At 10 in the morning, putting up shots. You knew that LeBron
he was all business.
Was serious.
Yeah. He didn't even have the do-rag on.
He had the filler, right? he had the filler game in Game 1. 15 points. What was that, 7 turnovers? He was like, you know what? Now I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
And that is play like shirtless LeBron.
What did he call it again? What did he call Game 1? It's the
feel-out game.
It's the feel-out game. That's right. He felt things out, so he was able to drop 21 one quarter later.
So he was feeling himself.
Yeah.
If he could play without a shirt on in that game, he probably would have.
I should have asked him, what did you feel out in Game 2? What was the feeling like? You know, you felt, Game 1's always a feel-out game. Tell me what Game 2 is, because if a monster triple-double like the one he put together, 42 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. I mean, if that's not enough, along with, of course, a double-double from Kevin Love, which is like the most quiet double-double I've ever seen in quite some time. Man, 22 points, 15 rebounds. To talk about,
the rebounds
a performance that went under the radar.
The rebounds don't shock me. He always does well on the boards, offensively, on both ends for Kevin Love and Thompson as well. But, 22 points. I mean, he did hit a couple of threes in that third quarter. And like you said, afterwards, it was like, he hit the 20-point mark. Okay. Didn't really make a difference.
No, it didn't.
But, I mean, here we are, right? 2-0. Is it really, though, a shock at this point that the Celtics have shown that they're the more talented team?
I don't think it's a shock. I just think the fact that the Cavaliers haven't gotten any offense from any of these guys is a bit of a shock. I mean, look at this box score right now. 3 points from Hill. 0 points from J.R. Smith, a starting shooting guard who's been in this league for quite some time, puts up 0 for 7, 0 for 4 from behind the arc. And then you look at the bench. Nance, 0. Jeff Green, 6. Korver, 11, which isn't too bad. But, I mean,
no, hold on.
Rodney Hood, 2 points. I mean,
let's go back to
who's going to step up here?
Let's go back to Korver for a second. Why didn't Tyronn Lue stick with Korver in the third quarter? He was the only thing, the only thing that he had going off the bench.
It's because he needs somebody else. I mean,
he went more with Hood.
I was thinking that, Hood is a guy that you need to get going.
He's convinced that Hood is going to, step out of this funk.
Well, who else can score off the dribble like that? I mean,
that's true, but
they need someone that can create offense. And it's just that's been their biggest problem in these first 2 games.
But isn't Korver their J.J. Redick?
Yeah, he is, and he had a decent game for Korver. 4 for 8. 2 for 5 from behind the arc. I mean, I would have, if I'm Cleveland, I want to see him take at least 12, 13 shots. He took 8.
He's one of the few bright spots outside of LeBron in the first half for Cleveland.
Yeah, but
you would have thought he would have stuck with him a little bit longer.
He's not a guy that's going to create offense.
Oh, you're right, but I mean, neither. I mean, they call him J.J. Redick for a reason. J.J. Redick doesn't really create his own offense. You got to create it for him.
No, I get that, but I mean, you take those couple of threes and 11 points, and you're hoping that you get help from other guys. I mean. When Larry Nance got traded to the Cleveland, I'm like, this is a guy who can help them out in the playoffs. He's been non-existent. Ronnie Hood, non-existent. 2 points. I mean, George Hill, 3 points. He took 4 shots.
See, the key word you just said before you started mentioning these guys was hope. I'm watching NBA TV after Game 2, and the former Cavalier. Well, they've had a couple former Cavaliers on these shows lately, but the former Cavalier on NBA TV after Game 2, Brendan Hayward, was repeating that word over and over again for Game 3 and Game 4. Hopefully, Rodney Hood wakes up. Hopefully, George Hill plays like the George Hill of old in the playoffs that we've seen when he was with the Pacers. Hopefully, Jordan Clarkson does something. Hopefully, Kevin Love has a repeat performance of Game 2. So there's a lot of hopefullys. I've never heard that kind of when you analyze a LeBron James / championship contending team. I don't remember even in 07 when he literally put that team on his back all the way to the finals. Past Detroit. I mean, he didn't have a shot against San Antonio, but that team had no business being in the finals. I think this team might be worse than that, if that makes sense.
I mean, he didn't have a guy like Kevin Love, so I don't know if they're.
But Kevin Love,
worse.
But Kevin Love is inconsistent though.
In today's NBA, I mean, he's been pretty consistent throughout the postseason. The thing about this Cavs team is they haven't met a defense like the Celtics throughout this postseason. All right, they weren't defended the same way against the Pacers or against the Raptors. A team that's been able to limit their transition, the offense and transition. What they're able to do so well. What's the reason why they won so many games down the stretch, or the reason why they were in this position to begin with. However, what I don't understand is how do guys that you traded for, that these guys, I mean, Nance, Hood again, Clarkson. I mean, these guys. Clarkson didn't even play in game 2. And I'm not trying to say this is like a Lou thing. I don't think that what he's doing is wrong, but it's just like, how do you not find offense for these guys? I get it. They're not going to go off. I get it. They're not going to combine for a Kyrie Irving like production that LeBron James misses so much that I don't even think he realized going into the postseason how much Kyrie Irving made such a difference throughout these last 3 years.
I think the Cavs all year, regardless of the personnel in their roster, they've just been unorganized. They don't have something that they like plays. It looks like to me that they run consistently. They don't play great defense. They haven't done that all season long. It doesn't matter who's been on the team.
Yeah, but do you know why? Especially against the Celtics, though, in my opinion, is because the Celtics, on the other hand, have guys that can create. Jaylen Brown can create.
Well, the Celtics.
Jason Tatum can create. Jason Tatum was squaring up with guys, and it didn't matter who was on the other end, whether it was LeBron James or whether it was J.R. Smith. I mean, who can limit these guys? I mean, Jeff Green, for athletic reasons, can do his best to stay in front of guys, but I mean, when Jason Tatum gets it going, and it's funny because there's so many options for the Celtics that I feel like Tatum could have been on his way to scoring 20, but it was almost like, you know what, I'll do it next time because you know what, Rozier's just dropped 14 in the third quarter.
That's been their
Jaylen
identity.
Brown just went off in the first quarter, in the first half. He's doing his thing. It's like, all right, I can take a back seat a bit because you guys got this. There's just too many weapons that the Cleveland Cavaliers can't contain them.
Well, that's been their identity in this postseason. They knew days before the playoffs, I think, maybe like 2 weeks before the playoffs, where to begin. We don't have Hayward. We don't have Kyrie. We got to figure this out. And they figured it out, especially in that first round. They figured it out. Once they got by the Bucks, I feel like they know what they're supposed to do on both sides of the floor. And they showed that against Philly, and they're showing it right now against the Cavs. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that they're going to sweep the Cavaliers. That would be some amazing shit to see. I'll tell you that. Not because I'm sitting here and this is a Celtics podcast and I'm not saying like I'm hoping for that.
Right.
But the way they're playing right now, like you said, they have too many weapons. They're more cohesive than the Cavs. You could tell that.
And on the defense, on the defensive end, which heading into the series, I always said that's the advantage. That's what's going to
they're a well-oiled machine right now.
That's what's going to limit the Cavs. That's what's going to get in their heads. And I think that's been the case these first two games. They are in the Cavaliers' heads. The Cavs are struggling to put together their offense. I mean, look at that fourth quarter in game 2, right? I mean, how many times did the Celtics come up with stops, but they couldn't convert on the other end?
No, at the beginning,
remember that?
No, at the beginning of that quarter, they take the lead and they're walking up the court. And I'm thinking to myself, there's like 9 minutes left in this game. We've seen it before. LeBron can just say, okay, y'all giving me this opportunity. I'm going to take it. But both of them were missing key shots. It was a good like 4 minute stretch of really bad basketball between both teams. Turnovers, missed layups, and it seemed like the Celtics were just waiting for the clock to like run out until J.R. Smith decided to do what he did. And we all know what we're talking about here.
You know what it was too? It was like the lob pass to Horford had the crowd ready to just erupt. Yeah. And J.R.'s like, no, come on. They haven't scored in a while. We're only down by 8 now. He finally got it down to single digits. And I cannot let him get away with this. He just got the emotions got the best of him.
You know what it was, in my opinion? I think he was bitching about not getting a call.
He was.
On the other end.
Yeah, he was.
Because Smart played, he D'd him up so well.
But the second that the stop happened and Celtics started going on the other end, he went right to the referee's ear. And was just like complaining. Yeah.
Marcus Smart who was D'ing him up so well, takes a J.R. Smith 3. I'm not going to call it ill-contested because it's J.R. Smith. Takes a J.R. Smith type shot. He's been doing nothing for the first 2 games. And instead of just playing the game and trying to get back into it, because it's not like they were getting killed. It was still a winnable game for the Cavs, believe it or not. But no, that's that lazy, that's that Bush League bullshit, that toxic, I don't even know what to call it, like kind of like vibe that the Cavs have, that if LeBron, I mean, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Like this whole notion that, oh, he scored 24 points in the first quarter. For the rest of the game, he scored 22 more points. He had a triple-double. Like, what else is the man supposed to do?
Yeah.
What else is he supposed to do?
Like, it gets
no one else is doing anything.
It gets to the point where it's like, okay, well, just wait. If LeBron drops 60, oh, they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Oh, just don't, you know. That's just the beginning. Wait till he gets back to Cleveland in front of that crowd. 21. Oh, he's gonna go for 40 in the first quarter. It's
whether he went,
where's the ceiling?
Whether he went shirtless or not, or he got to the arena early or not to put up shots, everybody knew that he was gonna have a better outing than
the game one, right?
Than game one.
Yeah,
like come on.
He already topped it in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Those 15 points.
But it's how the Celtics reacted to it that you know that this series is it's interesting to watch. It's been interesting to watch. I think that's the Cavs' best punch. I mean, I'm not saying that the Celtics are going to blow the Cavs out in Game 3 or Game 4, but I think that was the best punch that the Cavs could have come up with in this series. And the Celtics said, we're still standing.
They have to find a way to get these guys going, though, off the bench.
We're still standing.
I don't want to say that's their best punch that we saw in Game 2, but I will say this, though. I mean, does LeBron have another 42-point game in him? Absolutely.
No.
But
I don't think it matters.
If you don't get production from the other guys, it doesn't matter.
His team is not that talented.
It doesn't matter.
This is like I said, this is the worst.
This game didn't even go down the wire.
Yeah, this is the worst talented,
down to the wire.
Like Cavs or LeBron team. I think, like, again, I'm still comparing it to the 07 team, the first time we went to the finals. But this might be the worst LeBron team that's slated to go to the finals that he's ever had.
But why weren't we saying this after the trade? Or why weren't we saying this heading into the playoffs? You know?
Well, I mean, I personally was saying if this one season that the Celtics could, knock a vulnerable LeBron and Cavs team, it was this season.
No, I understand that, but I think the narrative heading into the postseason was, between them and Toronto, perfect, because the Celtics don't have to face neither of them until the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, because then they would have been battle tested, and they've shown they're battle tested, the Celtics.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the Cavs though, like heading into the postseason, no one thought like, oh man, there's no way these guys are gonna go to the finals. Now that's the narrative, or at least for the majority of the national media, they're looking at this series and thinking, how can this team put together 4 wins in the next 5 games?
I mean, I don't think anybody expected they were going to sweep the Raptors.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Heading into this series, they were the favorites, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Raptors just shit the bed. I mean, I thought that Cleveland would beat them. Not like that, though, but I thought it would go at least 7 games. 6-7 games, but I don't know. I think after the grueling 7 games against the Pacers, where there was a couple of those games that could have gone either way. There was questionable calls, but here we are. It's neither here or there. But
yeah, I don't know. People say that, but
I mean, but he goes through that.
They needed like Bogdanovich to like keep shooting threes the way he did.
I got you. But
at the end of the day, they weren't going to come out that serious.
No, I know. But what happens to LeBron when he's that tested? When you got him on the ropes and he still comes out winning the battle? It's like easy street for him the next series. Remember 2012? Celtics took him to 7 games. Took him a historic Game 6 to force Game 7 here in Boston. That's by far to me the best game I've ever seen him play. He hasn't topped that game, in my opinion. And what did he do to OKC? He murdered OKC in the finals. He was like, the monkey off my back. I've beat Boston and possibly ended the big three or the new big three's run, and now I get to begin my run. Wins the championship. What happened in 2013 when, again, 7 games against the Pacers? I mean, he didn't cruise by San Antonio, but he had one hell of a series against San Antonio. And of course, if douchebag Ray doesn't make the 3, he's not hoisting the second one. But back-to-back championships, bam. I feel like when he's not tested, The next round takes him a little while to get a little started. So what happened in game 1? It was his feel-out game.
You know, it's almost better for him that he would get bounced out now instead of the NBA Finals, because this team obviously would have no shot, whether it's Houston or Golden State waiting for him in the NBA Finals, right?
You can look 20 years down the line and no one's going to say, oh, remember when LeBron lost in the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals? Most people are going to be like, no, I don't actually remember that. But
Or no, they'll just say, yeah, that team was terrible, though.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? That team had no help.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. The Celtics won without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, but that team was awful. They should have won.
No.
Where the narrative was completely different heading into the series, right? It was like, oh, no, Cleveland's the favorite. Forget it. This is it. The run ends here for the Celtics.
It's the same thing that happened in 2010. Remember that? The 60-plus win Cavaliers against the barely 50-win Celtics that crawled into the 4th seed. There's no way LeBron was going to lose to the old Celtics, who barely had home court in the first round that season. And not only did the Celtics take care of LeBron, gave him, at the time, his worst loss at home, the worst playoff loss in Cleveland Cavaliers history. And then when the Celtics eliminated Cleveland, took off his jersey, walking out of TD Garden, what was the narrative? Well, LeBron quit. LeBron quit. He had 1 foot out the door.
People were kind of saying that after game 2. That in that fourth quarter, he just kind of felt bad. You know what I mean? He was like, oh, you guys don't want to help me out? You know what? You know. And then, you know, people were like, oh, he was asked after the game. Remember, he had to go back to the locker room for a little bit. You know, were you okay? Did you feel like you couldn't perform differently? I mean, you couldn't perform at the same level after you got, what was it? He ran to Tatum. No, he said he was okay.
No.
He was fine.
Tatum ran into him.
Yeah, that's right.
Tatum gave him the shoulder and to his neck. Could have been a concussion sway.
But at the end of the day, does it even make a difference? Let's say hypothetically he does give up in those whatever the series clinching game. Does it really make a difference?
No,
I mean, does it really?
But what's giving up though?
That's what I'm saying though.
A triple double, 40-point triple double.
What more can you ask for the guy?
Like if he does that again, he could do that for the rest of the series, and then when and if I'm gonna choose my words wisely, this Cavs lose, they'll say, "Oh, LeBron needed help,
and he gave
LeBron
up.
quit.
Yeah, he quit.
He was already thinking about going to Philly or going to LA, whatever the case may be." They already were saying that after game 1, that Cleveland gave that game up more than the Celtics took it.
That was the talk.
That's the talk. That's the talk. And for those who are listening to this podcast who aren't Celtics fans, you want to call us, fanboys. You want to call us homers. No, this is what we listen to from everywhere, locally, nationally, because it's LeBron. But the Celtics weren't the favorites in the round 1. They weren't the favorites in round 2. You know for damn sure that they're not the favorites right now in this round. But look at what they're doing in the first 2 games. And LeBron is not. It doesn't faze him because guess what? The last time he was down 0-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals. No, not even Eastern Conference Finals. The 0-2 in general was in 2008 in the second round against who?
The Celtics.
Paul Pierce and them Celtics.
Yeah. Which did go 7, obviously, and went down to the wire, but the Celtics did win that series.
That's the team that year coming off of a finals appearance, making a midseason trade as well. Remember that? Old friend Delonte West, Wally Zerbiak. Do you remember this team?
Yeah.
In 2008? They lose that series, and the narrative is LeBron needs help. It's always that. And LeBron needs more help. 2009, they lose to Orlando. Again, the top seed in the East. LeBron needs help. They lose to the Celtics in 2010. When you could hear the narrative breaking down each player against each other, right? That Jameson was better than Kevin Garnett. That who the hell was there? Who was our point
maybe
guard?
just as good. Maybe not better. But.
I heard that he was better than Garnett.
Mo Williams is better than
Mo Williams
Rondo.
is better than Rondo.
Yeah.
Come on. But then he loses again. Nah, man, he needed more help. That's why he had to go to Miami.
Yo, I don't blame him.
They won 60 wins, though.
I don't blame him, man. I would have went to Miami too. Dan Gable didn't help him out. He doesn't have a KG. He doesn't have a Ray Allen.
Oh, but I thought KG wasn't as good as Jameson.
You think this one is done?
What do you mean? They're gonna sweep them?
No, I mean, they can't get out.
No,
this
the
hole.
Celtics are gonna win this series.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Before the series, I mean, we haven't been on in a little while. It's been a crazy few weeks here on the Causeway Street podcast. But I originally predicted the Celtics in 7. Last series, I predicted the same, but they got it done in 5.
No, you said 6.
Oh, 6. You're right.
Thank you. It almost happened.
Yeah, because I was convinced that the Celtics were going to win one in Philly, and that's exactly what they did. So it was good.
I've kept it consistent. I've said Celtics in 7 every series.
Every series, yeah.
Every single series.
It's a good way to be like, well, at least I said it was going 7.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No, I'm just kidding.
one could say it's a cop-out, but at the same time, I'm still giving the Celtics the benefit of the doubt every series because, like you said, they've been the underdog in every single series. I mean, granted, the series against the Bucks, not a lot of people said the Bucks. A handful of people said the Bucks were going to win that series. But the Philly series?
No, but a lot of people said the Bucks though.
The Philly series, everyone was talking about the Sixers winning that series.
The thing that gets me, asking like why you're making your prediction the way you're making your prediction, for those that chose the Bucks in the first round solely because of Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's a star in the making, but he hasn't gotten there yet. Like, what is this rush to be like, he's the next LeBron or he's the next this? Let him be the first Giannis.
My whole thing was
same thing in the next series.
My whole thing was who's helping him. That's always been my thing,
Yeah.
And then you look at Philly, I mean, just the depth and the lack of experience and the fact that they went on that huge winning streak. It's like that's the worst thing for a young team to going into the playoffs. To have that type of winning streak, to have that,
and the media blowing your head up.
Yeah, well, you go into the postseason with a false sense of identity, and then you whiz right past the Heat. You beat the Heat in 5, whereas the Celtics were just
challenge.
The Celtics were battle tested after that Bucks series. They learned a lot about themselves playing against the Bucks.
That's it.
They learned, what playoff basketball is like on the road. They learned the adjustments that need to be made throughout the span of a 7-game series.
It's a chess match.
They took that mental toughness into the series against the Sixers, and they wiped the floor with them from the game 1. Game 2 was a little closer. Game 3 was probably one of my favorite games I've ever covered. Overtime win, grabbed a 3-0 lead, and they pretty much ripped the soul out the Sixers. The Sixers managed to, avoid the sweep and not drop one against their home crowd. Not by a lot. Not by a whole lot, but Celtics managed to come back and close it out in 5.
Did you bring me like a souvenir from Philly like I asked you? A cheesesteak or cheesecake or some of that confetti? You didn't bring me back some of that confetti, yo?
I did not. No.
Should have swept that up for me.
I know. That's a good idea. You know what? Shout out to Sam Packard, who not only pocketed confetti, but he went out that night and just was pouring it all over the bar, just pissing off the natives. The following day, the
locals.
The following day, we're at Temple University for Celtics practice. Opens his pocket, still had confetti on deck.
Nice.
Still had confetti on deck.
Nice.
What a moment.
Nice. Look, man.
And shout out to Confetti Eddie. You hear about that guy?
No, it's Confetti Eddie.
He's the guy who pulled the trigger. Shout out to Confetti.
A little premature there, guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Confetti Eddie.
Bust one a little too early there, Eddie.
Ooh.
Came too soon.
And you hate when that happens. Ooh, bummer.
Battle tested, man.
Not only that.
Mental toughness.
Thank you. Not afraid of the moment. And the Celtics have shown that not just in this postseason, but all season long. And say what you want about Kyrie Irving not being there, but his DNA is all over this team.
Yeah, 1,000%. Especially Terry Rozier. I've been saying that for weeks now, for months now. His DNA is literally in Terry's game.
Every single game.
It's made a humongous impact on who Terry Rozier has become this season.
Every single game that you watch of the Celtics nationally, right? Whether it's on TNT or on ESPN, they have to remind you, Terry Rozier is playing for the injured Kyrie Irving. Every game. That's a reminder. And they say it more than once throughout the game, just so you remember or you don't forget that Terry Rozier is a backup. So he's not supposed to be doing what he's doing. He's not supposed to have a hashtag Scary Terry.
He's not supposed to drop 14 in the third quarter the way he did.
No. He's not supposed to, be trending worldwide.
And who's guarding him? George Hill, keep up. Where you at? That's Rozier.
I don't know where that guy is.
Focus.
I have no idea where that guy is.
Where's the defensive scheming for guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? You know what they're going to do in Game 3? I can literally just see LeBron James just jumping coverages and just guarding everybody.
No, you know what's gonna happen?
That's pretty much got to be their game plan.
Jose Calderon.
Why are you bringing him up?
Jose Calderon might be the answer.
You think?
Might be the answer for Cleveland.
Damn well ain't Osman. Jeez.
He might be the answer for
it's an ugly looking bench. And why are people shitting on Lou for playing Jeff Green, man? That's your most consistent bench player throughout the postseason.
You know what it is?
Play Jeff Green, man. Stop hating on Jeff Green. Don't hate on Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff's been one of the few bright spots, if not the only bright spot off the bench for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All season long.
Especially in the postseason.
Yeah, all season long.
Especially in the postseason.
No, man, here locally in Boston, the Boston media, they hate Jeff Green. They really do.
Why? I wonder why.
They had these high expectations for Jeff, and I love Jeff. Don't get me wrong. I love Jeff. But he was never going to live up to those expectations.
No, never.
Because they wanted
Why the hell did you think Jeff Green was going to turn to Paul Pierce all of a sudden?
Exactly. Because they wanted him to be Paul Pierce
wrong with
2.0.
Yeah.
They wanted, him to eventually, start over Paul and Paul come off the bench. I don't know. Who knows?
They thought that he would, he would play
take
second
over.
fiddle
Yeah,
to those
over.
guys. It's
He'd
like,
take
no.
over. Yeah.
That's not who he is.
That's not who he is. Exactly. It's not who he is. But Al Horford, on the other hand, we know exactly who he is. And for those that don't know who he is still, playoff Al. That's all I got to say.
Playoff Al.
That's all I got to say.
It starts and ends with him on both ends of the floor. He's the anchor of the defense. Offense runs through him. And regardless of what his stat line looks like, he makes all the difference out there.
We're talking to you, fucker Lou.
Nah, fuck that dude.
No, I know.
I know. He's a punchline at this point.
Yeah.
Lou Maloney's bullshit takes.
Al Horford, like you said, it begins and ends with him. And I think he's your leader. Marcus Smart is your emotional leader, but Al Horford is your leader.
Oh, man. I don't know if this game would have been...
He's your veteran.
I think this game would have been a lot more close if it wasn't for Marcus Smart throughout that second half, man. This dude was everywhere.
Bro.
And he was about to give your boy the hands, bro. J.R. Smith was about to catch it. He was about to give him the fair ones. He was squaring up. Yo, did you read his mouth? Did you read his... he said, oh, my mama.
I did.
With everything that's been going on right now for him to...
Smart.
He
Mama Smart somewhere was like, get that motherfucker.
Yo, he threw all my mama out there. For all you guys out there that don't know, someone in the hood says, oh, my mama, and she's sick. Yeah, that dude's not playing. You're about to get the hands. That was going to be J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith was about to get the hands.
Smith almost caught it until Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson saved him. Thompson saved him.
Literally saved J.R. Smith's life by wrapping up Marcus Smart around his neck and shoulder,
which makes you even more mad. You're like, man.
So let me
get him once.
That punch.
Let me touch him up.
That punch was going to be thrown. That was the only great defensive stop for Tristan Thompson all night. Was protecting his own teammate, who didn't really need protecting, because the only person that really should have been protecting him was your boy LeBron. And he was nowhere to be found during that sequence. He was
like, you guys done?
I know, right? He's like, come on, man.
Can we get back to playing ball?
Can we inbound the ball real quick?
It's an 8-point game, guys. Come on.
Can you just tee up where it needs to get teed up?
You guys are ruining my triple double.
I'll shoot the tee because no one else can shoot the tee. Only he can.
2 more L's and all y'all are fired, and then I'm leaving.
Lou's fired.
Most of y'all motherfuckers gonna be stuck playing with Jeff Green. Jeff Green's gonna be the LeBron of this squad.
Well, I think he's only signed for 1 year.
Well, they'll bring him back.
Good old Jeff. No, man, but you don't do that, man. What if Horford got seriously injured on that, and then for the refs to be like, okay, guys, we're gonna review that. We weren't sure if that was just a regular foul or flagrant. Are you fucking kidding me?
And then what makes it worse, the NBA didn't even spank those refs.
3 motherfuckers that they're watching that play, and you're not gonna call it flagrant.
Yeah, but how does
you're not gonna eject this dude?
How does the league not spank those guys?
Yo, DeMar.
You got to throw down a fine. I'm not talking about suspension. Throw down a fine. Call it a flagrant 2. Do whatever you have to do to send a message that that's not okay. You can't be pushing dudes midair like that.
DeMar DeRozan got ejected. A flagrant 2 was called on him for accidentally swiping at a dude's head in last series. And you're not going to eject J.R. Smith? And the narrative of those that are saying, nah, man, don't suspend him. He's playing like shit anyways. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is like what you just said. You send a message. That shit is not tolerated.
Yeah.
That shit's not tolerated. And for the NBA to keep pretending that they don't know what the difference between a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2 is because you don't want to rock the boat, that's some bullshit. That's messed up. We want to wait to see if Al Horford got injured to be like, oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
That's kind of bad.
That's what it is. It's all about the way the guy falls.
That play was kind of bad.
Oh, if he's okay, if he's able to stand up on his own too, doesn't mean what the guy initially did wasn't malicious. It was still as malicious regardless if the guy is able to stand on his own too or not. You know, and of course the guy I'm talking about is Al Horford. I mean, because Al Horford was able to get up, doesn't mean that JR what he did was less malicious than what we saw. You saw the guy put 2 hands on his back and push him midair.
No, he landed
that's a flagrant 2.
He landed so awkwardly that if he didn't put his hands out, it would have been bad for him. It would have been bad for Al. You know, like I said, God forbid it wasn't worse than what it was. And in some ways, I think that was a wrap for the Celtics in terms of like, yeah, not only are we going to win this game, but we're eventually going to win this series because you're not going to push us around and get away with it.
Yeah.
And whether that means you get ejected or you get the hands from Marcus Smart or whoever, they're not going to stand for it. They're not going to stand for it. And then for fucking Ty Lue to be like, oh, the Celtics are gooning up the game. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I didn't see Marcus Smart pushing J.R. Smith in midair. I didn't see Jason Tatum. No, scratch that. I didn't see Marcus Morris push Tristan Thompson. He just let out a yell. And Tristan Thompson just happened to be in front of him.
And it's funny because LeBron James was all getting emotional after game 1 when someone brought up the fact that the physicality played a factor in game 1 and how the Celtics were able to be so physical with them. And now his head coach says, oh, no, the Celtics are the ones that are gooning it up.
How about when you
being a little too physical?
How about when you, my man, ask LeBron, are the Celtics giving him any kind of coverage that he hadn't seen against Toronto or the Pacers? And he says he's seen all types of coverage.
I've seen it all.
He's seen it all.
If you followed my playoff career, like, come on, fuck out of here, LeBron.
Buddy.
I'm talking about this playoff run. I'm not talking about the history of your career. Yeah.
Of you being in the league.
Obviously, you've seen every coverage in the last 15 years. I'm talking about in this postseason run.
You stupid fuck. You want to put up 15 points. When was the last time you put up 15 points in the Garden?
Exactly.
Never.
But that's the thing, though. The way he responded, though, you would think that
he was so salty.
Well, yeah, clearly. But you would think the question was, LeBron, have you ever been locked down like this in your entire career? Like, no, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, can you compare what the Celtics did defensively to what you saw against the Pacers, what you saw against the Raptors? What did they do so differently to make your ass only drop 15? Like, that was the question.
I would have interrupted him.
But he had to take it there.
While he was answering. Nah, see, that's not what I was asking you, LeBron. That's not what I was asking. I didn't ask you about your career. I didn't ask you about every single fucking other playoff series. I'm talking about this series compared to the last two. Because you swept the Raptors, you almost lost to the Pacers, and here you scored the least amount of points you've scored all playoff long.
One of your worst playoff performances in your career.
Definitely the worst at the Garden.
Right. But I wasn't going there.
But
I'm limited to just the postseason.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about your career.
Yeah.
But hey.
But you could even say that, Joe, just in the playoffs alone. Definitely the worst playoff performance at the Garden of his career.
Right.
It has to be.
But in this postseason, his worst performance of 2018.
So you're telling me that the 8 or 9 guys that like have guarded you, not one was different than the other. That's what you're telling me. All right, that's cool. Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's still not concerned, by the way.
0 level concern stays at 0. You know, I wanted to ask that question, but someone took that question from me.
0 fucks given either.
I mean, I shouldn't say they took it from me, but they asked before I did. So, but hey, we'll see. Series shifts over to Cleveland for Game 3. See what happens. If the Celtics take 1, it's a wrap. I still think the Celtics are going to win the series, but if they don't take 1 in Cleveland between Games 3 and 4, it's probably going to go to distance. But either way, the Celtics put themselves in really good shape. Another team that put themselves in really good shape is the Houston Rockets. Because
but you want to make sure that the Celtics win at least one.
I knew you wanted to keep going with this series.
No, but
okay.
I know you. But the Celtics have to win at least one.
They don't necessarily have to win the series, but if they don't want this thing to go 7, they have to win one. Okay. If they don't, mark my words, if they don't win one in Cleveland between games 3 and 4, this is going to go to distance. This is going to go to 7.
All right.
It's going to go 7.
I mean, my whole thing is Celtics win 1. You have a chance to wrap it up in game 5. And you know what happens in game 5. Well, you know, on that particular day, what's going on, right? Do I got to remind you?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Sway doesn't want to talk about it. That's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
That would be a nice gift, though.
It was only your day you shot out of the wound, but it's all good.
That would be a nice gift.
But you don't want to talk about it.
I didn't even think about it like that.
You don't want to talk about it.
No, I want to get into this series, man.
This dude was like Frank the Tank from like old school. He totally forgot the day he was born. I'm like, guy, they can fucking wrap it up. They can wrap it up on your birthday.
Joel's not exaggerating.
And so I
had no idea.
My birthday?
I had no idea that one of these games landed on my birthday. That's how excited I am about my birthday.
It's at home, too. I think you're more upset at the fact that you're like, fuck, I can't drink until like after the game ends. Like, all right, it's all good. It's all good. All right.
Well, it's a Wednesday, so I'm not too.
I can't get saucy all day, and I can't do some day drinking
I'm
before
not
the game
too
starts.
upset about it. Or who knows if it's a certain type of game where the Celtics have a huge cushion.
Don't worry, Sway.
Maybe someone can meet me at the concourse. We can do a little early celebrating. Do our thing. We'll see.
We should do a live broadcast. That's what we should do.
For Game 5?
For Game 5.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think I like that idea.
Or the Celtics could just give you an early birthday gift and just, not come back to Boston.
That would be the biggest collapse of all time.
I mean,
at least in the last 2 decades. At least since I've been watching LeBron James, pretty much. In LeBron James' career, that would be the biggest collapse if he were to get swept.
You think so? Even with this shitty team he has?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
No, it's good.
A sweep? Name another series where he was so outmatched name another series where he choked things. Maybe not him, but his team, I should say, because LeBron's still balling up regardless of the outcome. Name another series where the Cavaliers choked away a series. Not just talking sweep, but if this were to be a sweep against this Celtics team, that's the biggest collapse of his career. That would be the worst series loss. Worst playoff loss, excuse me, for LeBron James' team. You can count the Miami teams as well. Some people would say that about the finals against the Mavericks, that he didn't show up.
I mean, in terms of his Cleveland career before 2010 and in the last 4 years, yeah, I mean, I do remember the call after Game 6 in Boston in 2010 when he's taking off his jersey and, the Celtics shocked the world. It could be the last time, we see LeBron taking off the Cavaliers jersey.
And it was.
And it was like this whole narrative of what's going to happen next. It wasn't that, like this Celtics team is for real. No, it's what's going to happen to LeBron. What is this going to result in? Even if he loses this time around, it's the same thing. What's he going to do now? Could the Cavs, build a better team around him if for him to stay? If that's going to be the same narrative this time around. It's decision 3.0 now for LeBron. We talked about it last episode. You think he's going to Philly? Philly.
That's right. He is.
Like if he wants to stay relevant, like you said, and possibly win another championship, and Cleveland, they're not going to be competitive or considered championship contender compared to the Sixers and the Celtics, especially the Celtics in the next few years. So why not join? He's not going to come to Celtics, so why not join the other team for a year or two?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ball's in his court. He's going to continue to do these 1 to 2 year deals where he always has the option to dip off. He's been doing that with Cleveland, so why wouldn't he do it with the next team he joins, You get top dollar. You're not locked in. And you always have that option to hop on another team and continue chasing titles and continue chasing his idol, Michael Jordan.
Yeah. But I don't remember Michael ever hopping to another team to try to win a championship.
Nah, he did it on his own.
No, they came to him.
Yeah, that's right.
They came to him.
All right, let's get into the series real quick before we wrap things up and go in case you missed it. Like I said, Houston making things interesting. After game one, a lot of people were thinking, you know what, this Golden State team is just way too much for Houston. They could chuck up as many threes as they want. But one of the things that I remember after game one that stuck with me, that I was saying before the series even started, but of course was reiterated after game one from the TNT broadcast, was when Charles Barkley said, Kenny Smith said this. Or was it Charles Barkley? No, I think it was, Kenny Smith said this because Barkley said it was a wrap. Kenny Smith said, if you're the Rockets, you cannot expect to win this series without changing the way you run things, the way you run your offense.
Yep, you have to be able to do something uncomfortable.
If you want to win this series, you have to get out of your comfort zone and shake things up, and that's exactly what we saw in game two. Stop settling for three so much. We know the three-point shot is a huge part of your offense. However, you have guys that can put the ball on the floor. Guys, of course, that are led by James Harden, by Chris Paul, but what drove me crazy in game one was where the hell was Eric Gordon? Boom. Game two, there he is. Because this is a guy who can not only extend his shot from the perimeter, but he can get inside. He can hit from the mid-range. He can do things that help you create space and help you create offense. And that's exactly what we saw. It almost mirrors what's going on in Cleveland, whereas they were looking for guys who can do that instead of settling for jump shots. But the thing about the Houston Rockets is they have guys who've proven themselves throughout the year that they can score off the dribble, and that's exactly what we saw in game two. PJ Tucker came out of nowhere and had a career night against the Golden State Warriors. Pretty much blew them out. Now the series is tied 1 game apiece heading into Golden State or heading into Oakland. Chris Paul looked a little banged up, but for someone who's never been to the Western Conference Finals before, at this stage of his career, he's going to continue to push through. What do you think about the Rockets' chances heading into the Oracle Arena and trying to take another one and potentially take a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 series?
Before the series started, I had the Warriors coming out in 6, but then after I saw game 1, I was like,
yeah, everybody's like, oh, this one's done.
Like, this could be in 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I was giving the...
Oh, you get the Charles Barkley treatment.
I was like,
Barkley says 5. That's it.
Yeah, that was after game 1, though. I was like, because they had the lead in game 1, and they just let it slip away. And like you said...
chucking threes, man.
Exactly. They just were like, we're just going to just shoot our way back into this. That barely works at times. That rarely works at times to try to shoot your way back into a playoff game.
And I also think people overlook the fact that the Golden State Warriors are a very underrated defensive team. I know it's quick to say, they're just an offensive team that chucks up just as many threes as the Rockets. Almost. I know the Rockets led the league in 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
They're a team that's, more offensively sound.
Yeah, that's the better
than
term.
Other squads. However, defensively, these guys can play D, man. Don't get it twisted.
Iguodala
will D you up. We saw what he did against the Cavs, in the NBA Finals.
He loves to give you the D.
We saw what Kevin Durant could do defensively. Draymond Green is the anchor of the defense. Your boy, playoff Draymond's in full effect.
As long as he's not kicking cats in the balls, then we're good. Yeah,
he's the anchor. He's the playoff Draymond's been incredible this year. So that going up against the Rockets obviously puts them in a tough spot after game 1. But here they come, bounce right back, grab one at their home court. You're supposed to grab 2 technically, but you put yourself in a good spot heading into a really, really tough spot to play at the Oracle Arena. But I like this series. I do think it's going to be competitive, and I do think the Rockets have more of a chance to win this series than most people are giving them.
Are you saying that they're going to win the series, or you're still going with the Warriors?
I mean, heading into it, I just always said they have a really good shot. But after seeing the first two games...
How good of a shot?
First 2 games, I'm going to say they stretch it to 7. Right. And then they're going to gracefully bow out. But everyone's saying 4 or 5.
So 6. I mean, I said the Warriors are 6.
They're going 7.
So you think this series goes 7?
And hey, that game 7, anything can happen.
But
Harden could drop 50.
But what was the big difference?
Paul could drop 35.
No, you're right. But what happened when Harden dropped 40? They lost. But what was the big difference between game 1 and game 2 for the Warriors? Steph was off. Klay Thompson was off. Just those 2 guys alone. One of those 2 guys has to have their night. I'm not saying they got to go off for like 30. They have to have a typical night. Steph Curry has to have a typical night, or Klay Thompson, because Steph Curry he didn't shoot that well in game 1 either, but Klay Thompson went off, and of course Durant. I mean Durant's gonna be Durant. As long as he's healthy, like the Warriors are gonna be all right. Now, the difference in game 2, there was more offensive balance for Houston. You talked about PJ Tucker. You talked about Eric Gordon. If they continue that, Chris Paul, obviously, and then anything else from anybody off the bench, that's a bonus for the Rockets. But they have to be more offensively sound. And I don't think that's always an easy thing in the D'Antoni offense. But who controls everything, who like brings them back down to earth, is Chris Paul. Chris Paul is going to have to be amazing in Oakland.
Yeah, he's a difference maker. Because I think what Chris Paul is able to do is not only, like I said, score off the dribble, penetrate through the teeth of the defense, but we've seen epic performances where he could put a team on his back and give you that strength defensively. Whereas most teams couldn't contain Steph Curry the way they would have liked to throughout this postseason. Chris Paul can, but his health concerns are always going to be in the mix. So, but like I said, man, I mean, it's the Western Conference Final. The guy's never been there before. This is the reason he, was so excited to play for the Rockets. I think that.
You mean not the commercials that he's making? For,
no, I think that no, it's not
Farm?
at all.
No?
Those are pretty funny though.
All
but no.
right, cool.
I think that emotion alone, that drive, that adrenaline, will be more than enough for these guys to push to Game 7, and that Game 7 is going to be an epic performance. That's going to be a game for the ages. Well, I can't wait.
I'm gonna quote Sean here. Shout out to you, Papa Dutra. This series can't be any less than 2-2 for the Rockets. If the Rockets would have a chance,
oh man, I'm a little under the weather.
It's gotta be 2-2 coming back to Houston.
I'm a little sick today. That was funny. Like coughing over here. I had to turn my mic off. If the Rockets want to win this, they can't lose 3. All right.
So they can't lose 3 for the next.
You can't.
When they go to Oakland,
because then it's pretty much over.
When they go to Oakland, they can't lose 3. The next 2, they can't lose 3. All right, cool.
You go to Oakland.
Cool.
You got to make sure you take at least 1, and then after that, don't lose 2 more times. Don't. All right. Because you put yourself in a tough spot. All right.
Can we talk
Shout
about
out to
this,
Sean, by the way.
Can we talk about this long ass layout?
Hey, I was off by a day.
In between these switching arenas.
Real quick though, I was off by a day. I said Cinco de Mayo, baby.
Jordan Lucas
was on the 6th.
Dutra was born at like 9:15 at night on May 6th.
They almost made the 7th, which is Sean's birthday.
Less than 3 hours before Sean's birthday at midnight, the stroke of midnight on May 7th.
Cinco de Mayo, baby. Were you gonna put is this in case you missed it? Am I spoiling this?
No.
All right, cool.
No, I was gonna give him a shout out anyway, so we might as well give him a shout out now.
Jordan's gonna be the man. Can't wait to see Jordan just grow up before our eyes. We got a chance to hang out with Jordan a couple times.
Our boy Dean Dutra.
Oh no, you guys hang out with him a couple times.
I met little Jordan in the hospital.
I met him last week after I got back from Philly. Oh man,
he's a big boy.
He is.
He's a big boy. He's a heavyweight.
And Sean's got him decked out in Celtics gear already.
He's a heavyweight champion.
The Pavone uncles are gonna be. It's gonna be fun hanging out with him and seeing him grow.
But shout out to you, Dutra. Congrats. I don't think anyone's ever had a 3-day stretch like he has had ever in life.
No. Sean, you should write a book.
For real.
Pretty much.
For real. He moved into his,
I can do the
his
forward.
first home.
I'll write the forward.
Him and his lady, Paula, moved into their first home on Saturday. Baby Jordan was born on Sunday. And Dutra's birthday was on Monday.
Jeez. It's a lot.
And the Celtics beat Philadelphia.
That's right.
A couple days later.
Sean actually saw that in the hospital, so that's pretty cool.
Shout out to you. Keep doing what you're doing. We're proud of you. And enjoy your maternity leave. Oh, sorry. Paternity leave. My bad. I just hear him now like, I'm not a woman.
Take your time, Sean.
He's like, I'm not breastfeeding.
Take your time, and we'll get you back on here soon.
We'll hold you down. I hope you're watching every single. I hope you hold Baby Jordan during every single Celtics game.
Oh, of course. You know he's watching.
because since Baby Jordan's been born,
Sean's been telling him like which player, who's who, and
it's been a good little run there.
He's telling him every player's role and everything, filling him in, getting him familiar with this 2017-18 Celtics team that's been incredible. 2 wins away from the NBA Finals, but the series shifts over to Cleveland where things get interesting. Obviously, whenever a series switch venues, that's when you find out
how interesting is it going to get,
how crazy it gets. So I can't wait to see what happens. All right, let's wrap things up with In Case You Missed It, the way we wrap up every single episode here at the Causeway Street Podcast. This one's running a little long here, but we had a lot to say. Joel, what did we miss, though?
In case you missed it.
In case you missed it, LeBron James said, and I quote, "We'll see what we're made of come Saturday." And that's all I got. No, I'm kidding. No, in case you missed it.
Joel's like, you believe that shit? And that's it for.
Nah, in case you missed it, the 2015 NBA Coach of the Year, you know who that is? Do you remember who that is?
I was going to say Buckholz.
Yes, Clay Buckholz now is coaching in the NBA.
Buckholzer. That was the best Hawks season that Horford was on, huh?
Yes, that got swept. And
by the CAVS.
Mike, there you go, Mike. Jesus.
Mike Budenholzer. Yeah.
Mike Budenholzer.
There you go.
Will be the new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Just agreed to a 4-year deal.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that one. It's a little weird.
I don't know why they didn't do this before, because Joe Prutney was just not the move.
You love, man. That's your boy, yo. I love this press conferences after the game. He was just like, no, he was always giving praise to the Celtics. Like, yo, that's a great team over there. That is a great team. That is,
He sort of had like a, I don't know, how do I word this? His approach when he like answered questions was always sort of like, yeah, well, that's a good point, but we got to work hard, and it was always like, yeah, but what else? Like, what do you tell us more, Joe?
Just kind of give you the cliche.
Yeah, right.
You know who I thought would have been a better candidate, but I guess he didn't choose Milwaukee. He chose to go to New York instead. Fizdale,
yeah.
I thought Fizdale would have been great in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I would have loved to see what he do with
Giannis.
With Giannis,
yeah.
Instead, he has to try to figure out that mess in New York. How long do you think before he has his first freak out press conference?
Fizdale?
Yeah.
Game 2 of the regular season, when he's like, I don't know what to do with this damn team. Like, I need a better roster than this.
I'm doing my best.
And you can take that for data. It's like, Coach, this is like, pregame. Like,
it's going to come up, too.
This is the pregame conference. Like, we just want to know who your starting 5 is.
That'd be one of my questions. If he says like this and that about something about the stats, I'm like, Fizdale, can we take that for data?
He seems like
he says.
He seems like he's like hard of hearing, so he's got to yell all the time, like just to say something regular, not even like shouting out like orders or whatever. But anyways,
he's a great coach.
He is a great coach.
No,
we'll
see.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, good coach. Great.
Yeah, we both were like, Yeah.
I don't know where that word came from.
Came from the school of Eric Spoelstra, so he's a good coach.
So, how many times do you think Stan Van Gundy has submitted his application for the Toronto job? I'm saying at least 3 times.
Stan Van Gundy, huh?
At least 3 times.
Oh, that's another guy who got canned recently, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of firings of coaches.
I'm gonna say Stan has sent about 6 emails.
I think
to the Raptors.
No, I think Stan failed in Detroit because they gave him the double role. That I remember my theory on that. You can't be a coach and a GM at the same time. That doesn't work. Ask Doc Rivers.
Shout out to Doc. Yeah.
Ask that guy and see if it doesn't work. I thought they would have just taken away a title stuff, just firing him. They're just like, no, just get the fuck out.
Yeah,
just get out of here. I don't know. That's weird. You know what? I think Dwayne Casey would do well in Detroit, though. Just swap coaches.
Yeah, that would work. I mean, Blake's not going anywhere anytime soon, right?
No.
Still got something to work with there.
No, not at all. He's going to be there for a while, actually. He's got like 4 year, his 4-year extension.
Yeah.
Last summer.
He's pretty salty about it.
In case you missed it, the NBA award finalists list came out for all you guys excited for that award show. How stupid is that show, by the way? I got to wait until like
I don't know.
Draft time.
I don't hate it.
No, I like the idea.
At first, I wasn't crazy about it because it was just kind of like, all right, well, these awards are for what everyone's done throughout the regular season.
And then you see
and like all the whole show behind it and everything. But I can get used to it. I don't know.
I like the idea like last season, but then, you know, like you watch the playoffs and some of these players who were in these categories, they played like shit. So then you're like, the last thing I'm seeing of them playing like they're, you know, playing awful and they're winning an award or they're in the running to win an award. I don't know. I like the fact that I like before where in the middle of the playoffs people got their awards. And if you were in the playoffs, you get to, you know, hoist your trophy in front of your home crowd. Your mic is off. There you go.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. The whole spectacle behind it now is just like, I don't know, not necessary.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's no NBA basketball at the time, and then you got the draft and all that. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, here are the finalists for a couple of Celtics are in these categories. By the way, the show airs on TNT June 25th. So mark your calendars or set your DVRs, whatever you do for things like this. For MVP, no Celtics are on this, but for MVP, Anthony Davis, James Harden, LeBron James.
LeBron made it, huh?
LeBron made it. I mean, that's not a surprise to me. Anthony Davis is a surprise to me, though. I think his late season surge post DeMarcus Cousins injury,
yeah,
that helped him a lot. Plus Rondo feeding him like a big baby.
Yeah, no, I was being sarcastic with the LeBron comment, but yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I agree with all three of those. Harden takes it by a lot, but yeah,
Harden wins by many votes.
But all three, yeah, I agree with all three of those.
Yeah, Harden's gonna win it. I think LeBron should get some good consideration, but I mean, considering the shitty season the Cavs had, him not in general, but he's had one of his best seasons 15 years later. But for Sixth Man of the Year, Eric Gordon, Lou Williams, no surprise there.
Jeez.
And Fred VanVleet of the
what?
Choke Raptors, the Toronto Raptors. I'm sorry.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Fred VanVleet. Your boy.
Someone told me I look like him. Do you think I look like him?
No.
I don't, right?
No.
You hear that, Gary? I don't look like him. I don't think he listens. Gary Washburn. The Boston Globe says I look like him.
Gary Washburn, huh? You know who you look like, Gary Washburn?
Who?
No, I don't know who he looks like. I'm just messing around.
Oh, come on, man. Got me all excited. I'm like, yo, give me something to take back. A little clap back. I told him I kind of see it, but I don't know. Not really. I always say no one looks like me. Not to sound like that, but I don't know.
You got a little Shane Larkin in you.
Yeah, I can see that.
Little Shane.
A little bit.
Little Shane.
Yeah. Yeah, why is he
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to think of someone I would plug in there instead of him, and I can't.
No, I mean, no. I was gonna say
Marcus Morris.
Yeah, but
it's because that happened late in the season, and because of all the injuries, it's tough to even label someone a sixth man because it's like
from the Celtics. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the sixth man is like the 10th man in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, I think they didn't need a third candidate, and they were like, "Oh, Toronto was doing so great. Yeah, let's throw him in there." Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they have the thing about Toronto, and this is why
I feel like Luke.
This is why I struggle to comprehend the fact that they got swept the way they did. But their bench, they finally had a deep bench to counter the Cavaliers, and it was almost like any given night, somebody was going to step up. And a lot of the times, or at least in a handful of games that I saw, it wasn't always Van Fleet. You know, so that's why I'm kind of surprised. To me, if you're a 6-man candidate, you're that guy 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were guys like Deion Wright who would step up. There were guys, you know, who am I forgetting? CJ Miles. Actually, why did I say that? CJ Miles is the guy I should have said right after. You know, so I feel like I'm now I see it. I agree with you because they're the top team in the Eastern Conference. They sort of just picked a guy from their second unit to plug in there.
But it wasn't even the second
as a nominee
that let that team down against.
No, I know. That's true.
It was the All-Star.
But it was supposed to help them, Joel.
I know.
Damn it.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Why are you guys soft?
NBA
blow that team up already. And it's not Dwayne Casey's fault. It's not his fault.
We'll get to him in a second.
Jeez.
Most improved?
Oh, is he in this? Oh, man.
No, Dwayne Casey's not the most improved.
No, I'm talking about
this segment.
I'm talking about in case you missed it. Oh, man.
Clint Capella, Spencer Dinwiddie, Sean's boy,
He would pick him.
and Victor Oladipo.
Oh, Victor. Victor wins.
Why isn't Jaylen Brown in this over Dinwiddie?
Ooh. Yeah.
Seriously.
Dinwiddie over Jaylen Brown.
Like, I know he wasn't going to win the award because it's going to go to Oladipo, obviously.
Yeah.
He is an all-star. But Jaylen Brown was a borderline all-star. More than doubled his point average.
Yeah, what did he put up, like 6 last year? 7?
7 points. Barely over 7 points.
Yeah.
More than doubled that this year.
Yeah.
That's just me.
And he was going to be a starter regardless. Like, I don't know if
I know,
if that factors in, but
Right.
because of Gordon Hayward going down, no, he was going to start in that backcourt regardless.
Yeah, you're right.
That was the plan heading into the season.
Defensive player of the year, Joel Embiid. Oh, Rudy Gobert, or Gobert if you want to pronounce it the way you want to pronounce it.
Huh.
Why isn't Al Horford in this conversation?
George just plugging in Celtics players for every category.
I'm serious, though. Again, I didn't think he had a shot of winning it, but if you want to come up with 2 guys, you can't come up with the third guy? I think Al Horford should have been on the list.
Yeah, I mean, because of what happened down the stretch, like I said, I mean, he's always been the anchor of the defense, but when Kyrie Irving went down, this team, the defense just went up a notch, you know? Like, remember they were limiting teams to like 100 points, teams that were averaging over 110, 112, you know?
I mean, there's a reason why the Celtics had the number 1 defense all season long.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons, his name is Alfred Joel Horford.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Okay, Anna. she put that tweet out not too long ago.
I love it because
Because your middle name is Joel? Yeah, I can tell.
My middle name is not Joel.
I mean, because his middle name is Joel. Not your...
No, I retweeted it to be like, yo, she confirmed that with us. Remember
Oh, that's right. The very first time we all introduced ourselves, she was like, oh, that's Al's middle name.
Yeah, so yeah. I was like, that's true. Well, no trolling. She wasn't trolling. That was funny. Good times. All right, so we got Rookie of the Year, Donovan Mitchell.
I give it to Embiid, by the way. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum. Now, I say Mitchell wins it.
It's because Simmons is not a rookie.
That and the fact that Donovan Mitchell can shoot the basketball. It's just that alone. Plus, he averaged more points. He was more. He made more of an impact for Utah. I mean,
Yeah.
Look what happened with Utah. Like Utah
had no business getting as far as they did.
Utah.
Well, no, I mean ending the season like where they were seeded. Were they 4th?
Yeah, but
they had no business being that high.
That's what I'm saying. They were 5th. That's why they didn't have the home court against.
Oh, that's right.
OKC.
Yeah, they just missed out on it. They were fighting for 4th,
and they took care of OKC. I know it's a regular season award, but leading up to weeks before the season ended, like Utah wasn't even in the playoff picture. And I know it was a big battle all the way to like the 12th seed out west of who was going to get in, the top 8. Right. But Utah did it.
Yeah, but Philly was pretty high too. But at the same time, though, I don't know if you can say Simmons carried them. It's more of a group effort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Simmons didn't have a great season. He had a great season. But Donovan Mitchell, he's the real deal, dude.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. And ironically enough, Jason Tatum is the only rookie still standing in the playoffs. Still doing his thing. Coach of the Year, Quinn Snyder of Utah Jazz, Brad Stevens, and Dwayne Casey of Toronto, ? Since he's not employed by them anymore. Side note, whoever runs the Toronto Raptors Twitter shouted him out. Why?
Wait, you talking about the official Twitter account for the Toronto Raptors gave him props for being nominated?
Yes. They said because the NBA released, all the finalists, and they retweeted it by saying, "Congrats, coach." How pissed off would you be?
If I'm Dwayne Casey, I would retweet it and comment, "Fuck you."
See, that's another reason why these awards shouldn't be given out this late. Like, is he going to be there? Like, how awkward is it going to be when he gets up there, if he is going to be there, and he wins the award, and he's going to talk about the team that just fucking fired him? Like, what is he going to say? And this is the same GM that fired George Karl when he won it a few years back in Denver.
Yeah.
They're like, how weird is that? Like, they couldn't wait before they fired this dude?
Why do you shout him out, though?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
Like,
get that.
that's another thing. If you fired him, fine. Congrats, coach. Yay. We fired you, but hey, it was a great season, wasn't it? Yeah. What the fuck? That's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's so awkward.
I mean, you congratulate someone that you got rid of.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That is exactly what happened, bro.
If I'm him, I'm like, so what did I do wrong?
I know,
You're
right?
Congratulating me.
Congratulating my ass.
I'm the best coach in the NBA, and you're shouting me out, I guess, because you agree with it. It makes you wonder what kind of conversation they had.
It's fucking stupid.
Maybe it's a sarcastic tweet. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a sarcastic congrats.
No.
You know? I would love to be a fly on the wall when they called him into the office.
They had an exclamation point.
Fired him.
And I quote, congrats, coach. And every single follow that thread, by the way. Go to that. Go to the official Toronto Raptors Twitter and look at every comment following that tweet. Like, why are you congratulating this man if you just fired him? That means you didn't believe in him. But hey, congrats anyways, Dwayne Casey.
It's not his fault, man.
No, I know. I'm not saying it is his fault.
I know, but
I was shocked.
I just think it's messed up.
I was shocked. They should.
It's a players' league. I'm telling you.
Trade fucking DeMar DeRozan. Don't fire.
I'm telling you, it's a players' league.
Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, it was like, oh, if players weren't cutting it, the team wasn't cutting it, players got traded. Nowadays, coaches get fired.
It's fucked
You know,
up.
that's the solution.
It's fucked up is what it is. Well, in case you missed it, the final piece, the last piece from the trade that brought Kyrie Irving to the Boston Celtics has been announced. As the Cavaliers will be picking 8th in this year's NBA draft.
Danny Ainge the GOAT.
That's Brooklyn's pick, by the way. If you guys are asking, well why does it matter what Cleveland's going to pick? When Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and Ante Zizic were packaged in the deal for Kyrie Irving, this pick here that I'm talking about was included. Brooklyn's pick. Thank you, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. And what was it, 2021 second round? 2031? I don't know, whatever. Second round pick, like 10 years from now, was also thrown in there when they were like, hey, guys, Isaiah's more injured than we thought he was.
Give us something else.
Come on. Give us another pick. Here you go. Take all the second round draft picks you want.
Did you hear what Danny Ainge said last week?
Well, that somebody from the CAVS called him a fucking thief. Is that what you're talking about?
No. No, it wasn't. It was about the trade, actually. It was about, well, yeah, I guess that was about the trade too. But no, it was about how they were actually considering throwing the Tatum pick in there.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they finally decided, no, the Brooklyn pick's enough. That's it. I mean, it wouldn't have been both.
Oh, no, but you're saying like trading Tatum because Tatum was already drafted.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good God. That
But they stood their ground.
See, things happen for a reason, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this team without Gordon Hayward and Jason Tatum? For those that don't know.
Play conspiracy theory music.
I know, right?
Actually, that doesn't even make any sense.
I'm going to drop it right now. I know, right? It's not a conspiracy. We're just saying imagine. We're not saying
Makes
that.
no sense at all.
We're not saying that like.
Complete hypothetical situation.
I know, right? We're not saying that like, yo, did somebody tell Danny like not to trade Tatum because Gordon was going to get injured on that fateful October evening? No, that's not what we're saying at all. We're just saying, try to picture the Celtics leading scorer in the playoffs right now, who is Jason Tatum, not being on this team, doing what they're doing without him, Gordon Hayward, and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, to me, the Cavs are playing hardball, and Danny didn't fold. Because that's not what Danny does. Doesn't fold. So things worked out. But, man, the 8th pick, the worst pick out of all of those Brooklyn picks, where the Cleveland Cavaliers were pretty much convinced that was going to be at least a top 5 pick. That was what that trade was about. I mean, Isaiah was obviously a big chunk of it, but to me, it was that pick that they're looking forward to.
And Brooklyn, without Jeremy Lin, we forget, got injured early in the season.
He still plays?
Didn't tank. They didn't tank. They said, no, we're not going to be the laughingstock anymore and help out Cleveland.
And they got Russell, too. And he went down.
Yeah, they all went down. That's, I mean, maybe Dinwiddie, he does deserve to be in that category.
Fuck it, give it to him.
Most improved.
Shit. Motherfuckers had a rough year.
And that is it. For
In case you missed it.
make sure you follow us on all social media accounts at Causeway Street. Yo, let's get these Snapchats viewers, guys. Come on.
Yeah, man. Add us on
Up
Snapchat.
on that.
Causeway Street.
You guys missed some confetti falling from Wells Fargo Arena. You guys missed when Sway was like, becoming a tourist all over Philly. How was that, by the way? Were the locals giving you a hard time, or you didn't say you were from Boston?
No, it was funny because I did. I you know how it is.
Yeah.
People,
they just look at you like you ain't from here, huh?
yeah, and
Were you wearing your Celtics shirt again?
Well,
you can't be doing that, man.
no, I don't.
I don't
Again, I don't do that. You know how it is. Like, oh, so where you from? And small talk, and everyone was just like, man, we're all shocked. What the hell happened last night? This is after Game 3. I didn't really go out much until after Game 3. Yeah, everybody was shocked. Everyone was upset, and you would be shocked when I start bringing up the LeBron James conversation. They're like, yeah, but we got these dudes that are homegrown. I'm like,
oh, really?
what?
They're like, he's not
Ben Simmons?
They're like, he's not.
Who are you talking about?
He's like LeBron. He's not one of us.
Well, yeah, no, we got him, and then you got Joel Embiid. Who else do you guys have though that can
Markel Fultz.
bring you to a title?
Markel.
Yeah, but you just gotta let things unfold, and
Wait more than the 5 years they've been waiting already.
So you don't want LeBron James though? You'd be shocked, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about
They took the whole saying trusting the process to a whole nother level.
What about were they talking about firing Brett Brown? Like get him out of here, get him in. Like I feel like
a couple of guys said that he's a really bad coach. No one said that they should fire him, but yeah, they were putting some of the blame on him.
Yeah, I feel like when they win, they're like, yeah, we're coming out of the East, and then when they would lose, they'd be like, get rid of this guy, get rid of this other guy. I don't know. They just they're prisoners of the moment, so to speak.
But it's funny because after Game 4, I feel like they really thought that this team could at least force a Game 7. Like they were bummed out after Game 5.
I can imagine.
Well, I say they as I was speaking to mostly the Sixers media, but the fan base, man, they were just shocked. They couldn't believe it. They just, I think a lot of them just weren't familiar with Boston. I don't think they kept a close eye throughout that Milwaukee series. So
yeah, I mean,
Philly was cool. I liked Philly. Philly as a city was cool. I like it. It's
I think when they took care of the Miami,
it was fun.
They were just gonna
yeah, exactly.
Same thing or similar was gonna happen with. They're like, oh, there's no Kyrie.
No Kyrie, exactly.
No Hayward. It's like, yeah, they'll take care of them, same way handily that they did with Miami, and they were shocked. Yeah, utterly shocked.
Yeah, nightlife is pretty dope over there.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it's got a little outdoor spots. The weather was nice. It's like sort of like a bigger Boston. Same type of hours. There are a couple spots that go to 3. Which I highly recommend the city of Boston somehow invest in. Come on, get the clubs open till 3, and then of course there's the late night spots. Late night spots are like to eat is open till 5. But
you hear that, Matty Walsh? We want until 3 a.m.
Hey man, be careful with those accents, Joel. You're gonna piss somebody off.
Oh, that's right. It's my fault.
All right, before I cough up a lung over here.
Shout out.
I'm so sick right now.
Shout out to you, Gene, for
here we go.
For your comments.
I shouldn't have brought this up.
YouTube. We love and welcome all types of feedback. Thank you for listening.
And with that, we out. Until next time, Causeway Street, the Pavone Brothers.
Hit us up on no, I was kidding. Hit us up on CauseWayStreet.com for all your playoff coverage. We got some stuff up there about Marcus Smart, what he's been dealing with his mother who's fighting cancer right now, but he's still putting in the work. So I don't know where this guy is finding his. Well, I mean, I have an idea where he's finding his inspiration from, but like just the fact that he's not there with her, but he's still doing his thing for the team. I don't know what's gonna happen this summer, but I'm enjoying everything I'm seeing right now from him, especially since he's been back. Celtics are what, 8-2 since he's been back? Balling, man.
Bring him back.
Been balling.
Come on. 12, 13 mil, get it done.
Yo,
I can't envision a contract that'd be higher than that for Marcus. Get it done.
I was someone that's like, no, he doesn't deserve any more than like 8 or 9. And I'm like, yo, now Over the last 10 games, I'm like, yeah, give him like 10, 11, maybe 12 at the most.
Get it done.
But got to make sure that no team says, we'll give you 15. You never know.
Nah, I don't think so.
I hope not, but we'll see.
It's a guard-heavy league, and if you're not a first or second scoring option, which I don't think Marcus Smart is, I don't think he'll command that type of money. So, but we'll see.
We'll see.
That's way down the road. In the meantime, we can enjoy what he does on the floor, man.
You sure can.
Oh man, that guy's a beast.
Yo, make sure you also subscribe to us on iTunes if you haven't already, and subscribe to the CLNS Media YouTube channel where you'll see Sway and his many, many reports before and after Celtics games. Hell yeah.
Definitely. Check it out, guys. Appreciate it.
And until then, Sean, we miss you, brother. Congrats. We'll talk to you soon. And everybody else, we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next week, guys. We up out of here.
Peace.